I had to add this video in here so that I could explain to you what functions are. I used to teach functions in the freshman coding class, so the video that you'll see after this refers to what you learned in freshman class, except I realized that this class last year had been changed and altered, and that I do not believe any of you learned what a function was in freshman class. So this is the little PowerPoint that I would give the freshmen when I did have it part of the class, because you would need to know this, and it's simple and you'll understand. So a function is a section of code that you plan to use over and over again in your program. So instead of writing it out, you can give the small piece of code a name, just like a variable, and pop the name in when you need to use it. So here's an example. When you were a kid, you used to learn songs, and in the songs there were usually choruses. So this is just an example of a song that we used to explain this. Instead of writing out the words to the chorus in between each verse, it would just say chorus, and you know, because you learned in elementary school, just to go back up to the top and sing the words at the top again. So if you started when the song starts with the first verse, when it says chorus, you just know to go up to the top and use that again. So instead of having to write the words to the chorus out each time, you just use the word chorus. And then it saves time, and you don't have to keep copying the code over and over again. So if you were writing a program and you were going to use a piece of code more than once, this way you can define the code ahead of time so you know what it'll be, and then call the code when you need to use it. So it's different from a loop. This is a question I would ask in class, because with a loop it works that way. You can put whatever code you want in there, but it just continuously repeats the same over and over and over right after each other. But if you wanted to use that code at a different point in time in your program, you wouldn't be able to use a repeat block, so you'd have to use a function. So defining a function is saying exactly what the code is that you're going to be repeating, and it can be anything you want, but that's the defining part, and you would do that before you actually write your program. And then in the course of your program, you would call the function, and that would make it work in your program. So once again, defining a function would be writing out the words to the chorus or your program, whatever it is, and then calling a function is where you would put it in your program. So in Scratch, I used this example. You guys all know Scratch. In Scratch, you can define a function by using a define key, and this piece of it, which is not part of the code, says exactly what you would do in the function. And this is the actual code part on the left when the flag is clicked and you pull out a block this is the actual calling of the function over here, and you can put it in different parts. So simply, that's what a function is, and I hope that this video explains it.